Kai stood at the edge of the small spaceship, watching the vast planet below. The planet was called Veros. It was far from the homeworld of humans. Few had been there before. It looked quiet from space. The blue and green colors mixed with strange, purple clouds. It was beautiful but strange. The mission was simple: land, find the ancient technology, and return. No one expected any problems. Kai thought this would be an easy job. The captain's voice came through the small radio in his helmet. All teams, prepare to land. Stay alert. We expect nothing unusual. Kai nodded even though the captain could not see him. He took a deep breath and stepped into the lander. The ship shook as it passed through the thick clouds. Outside, the view changed. Trees stretched out like a green sea. The ground looked soft and wet. Strange sounds came from the forests below. Kai felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He had done many missions before, but something about this place felt different. The air smelled fresh but had a strange metallic hint. The gravity was slightly less than Earth's, so his steps felt lighter. The lander touched down softly in a clearing surrounded by tall trees. The ship's doors opened with a hiss. Kai stepped out and looked around. The forest was quiet except for distant bird sounds. The sun shone through the leaves in bright patches. The air was warm but not too hot. He checked his equipment one more time. His small team waited nearby. They were ready to move. "We start searching for the artifact," Kai said calmly. "Remember, no risks. Find the technology and come back fast." His team nodded. They spread out carefully, scanning the area with their handheld devices. The forest was old, with huge trees and strange plants. Some plants glowed faintly in the shadow. Kai felt a small thrill. This was why he loved exploring new worlds. Every detail was a mystery waiting to be solved. As they moved deeper into the forest, Kai's device beeped. "Signal is strong here," he said. They reached an ancient stone structure covered with moss and vines. The shape was strange. It looked like a temple, but with sharp angles and metal parts. This was the kind of technology they had been sent to find. Kai stepped closer and touched the stone. It was cold and smooth. He noticed symbols carved into the walls. They looked old, but still clear. He took pictures and sent data back to the ship. Suddenly, a faint light flickered from inside the temple. "Careful," Kai warned his team. They moved slowly to the entrance. The door was partially open. Inside, the air was cool and dry. The walls glowed softly with blue light. The room was large with high ceilings. Strange machines stood in rows. Some looked broken, but others seemed to hum with power. Kai walked forward. His eyes scanned every detail. He saw a small pedestal in the center with a round object. It was the artifact. It looked like a crystal ball, but inside light moved like liquid. Kai reached out and touched it gently. The light inside changed color. It was alive in some way. Suddenly, the ground shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Kai pulled his hand back. "What was that?" one team member asked. Kai didn't answer. He looked around carefully. The temple seemed to be waking up. Kai's radio crackled. "Kai, report! What is happening?" Kai said, "The temple is active. The artifact is real. But something else is here." The team moved back outside quickly. The forest seemed to grow darker. The strange purple clouds appeared, again swirling low over the trees. Kai looked up. The sky had changed from blue to a deep violet. The air felt heavy now. "We need to leave soon," Kai said. "This is not normal." Just then, a soft sound came from behind the temple. Kai turned quickly. A small figure stepped out from the shadows. It was a girl. She looked about 10 years old. Her clothes were simple but clean. Her eyes were bright and curious. "Who are you?" Kai asked carefully. The girl did not answer. She just looked at him with calm eyes. Kai felt surprised. No one expected to find anyone here. "My name is Kai," he said again. "Are you alone?" The girl nodded. She pointed behind her. Kai saw a hidden path leading deeper into the forest. She seemed to want him to follow. Kai looked at his team. They waited quietly. Kai decided to follow the girl. The path was narrow and covered with leaves. The forest was thick here. Strange sounds echoed around them. Kai kept his hand near his weapon, but did not want to scare the girl. After walking for some time, they reached a small clearing. There, Kai saw a small camp. It looked like someone had lived here for a while. There were simple tools and a small fire pit. The girl smiled faintly and sat down. Kai sat too. He looked at her carefully. "Why are you here alone?" he asked. The girl looked away. "I am Mira," she said softly. "I am the daughter of the queen." Kai was shocked. He had heard stories about a queen who once ruled this planet. Her people were said to be lost many years ago. No one believed she had children left. Mira looked at Kai with hope. "I have been hiding. They want to find me. The empire that took over my home wants to use me." Kai's mind raced. This was more than a mission now. It was a story of survival and danger. He knew his orders were to leave quickly, but now he had to protect Mira. The mission had changed. Kai took a deep breath. "I will help you," he said firmly. Mira smiled for the first time. The sky above the forest was darkening. Strange stars appeared. Kai felt that this was only the beginning of something bigger than anyone could imagine. The quiet planet of Veros held secrets that would change everything. Kai looked at Mira and promised to keep her safe. His simple mission had shifted. Now it was a fight for the future. The night on Veros was quiet, but Kai could feel the weight of what he had just learned. Mira, the young girl who said she was the queen's daughter, sat beside him near the small fire. Her eyes shone softly in the flickering light. Kai kept his hand close to his weapon, but he did not want to scare her. He needed to learn more. "Tell me about your home," Kai said gently. "Where is your queen? What happened to your people?" Mira looked down at her hands. "The queen was my mother," she said softly. "She ruled our world with kindness and strength. But the empire came. They wanted to take our land and our secrets. Many were taken away. My mother fought to protect us. But the empire was strong." Kai listened carefully. He had heard stories of empires that destroyed worlds, but hearing it from someone who lived it was different. "And you? How did you survive?" "I hid," Mira said simply. "I ran deep into the forest. The trees and old magic kept me safe, but I cannot stay hidden forever. The Empire's soldiers are looking for me. If they find me, I will be a prisoner." Kai felt a deep sadness. This little girl carried the future of her people in her hands. "We must find a way to keep you safe," he said firmly. "I will not let them take you." Mira smiled faintly. "Thank you, Kai." Kai's team was setting up a small camp nearby. They were silent, but alert. Kai knew the danger was real. The rival empire was close. He needed a plan. The next morning, Kai woke early. The forest was alive with sounds of birds and small animals. Mira was already awake, watching the trees. Kai sat beside her. "I want to understand your world better," he said. "Can you show me more?" Mira nodded. "There is a place you must see," she said. "The Queen's secret place. It holds the truth." Kai helped Mira up. They moved quietly through the forest. The path was narrow and overgrown. Mira knew every step. After a while, they came to a large stone door covered in vines. Strange symbols glowed faintly on its surface. "This is it," Mira said. The Queen's hidden chamber. Kai studied the door. He touched the symbols lightly. The door began to open slowly, revealing a dark passage inside. The air smelled old, but clean. Kai switched on his light and stepped in. Mira followed closely. Inside, the passage led to a large room filled with strange machines and glowing screens. In the center was a large chair carved from stone and metal. On the walls, pictures showed a great queen standing tall, leading her people. Mira walked to a console and pressed a button. The machines hummed to life. A soft voice filled the room. "Welcome, Mira, daughter of the Queen. Your people need you." Kai watched in amazement. The technology was advanced, but also ancient. It held knowledge and power. "This is the Queen's legacy," Mira said. "It is a gift to help protect our world." Kai understood now why the Empire wanted this planet. It was not just land or resources. It was a source of power. Suddenly the room shook. Alarms sounded. Kai's radio crackled. "Kai, this is the captain. Enemy ships detected. You must leave immediately." Kai looked at Mira. "We have no time. We must get out." Mira nodded. They moved quickly through the passage. Outside, the sky was dark with enemy ships. The rival empire had arrived faster than anyone expected. Kai gathered his team. "Prepare for evacuation. Protect Mira at all costs." The enemy ships fired powerful beams at the forest. Trees exploded into flames. The ground shook with each blast. Kai's team returned fire with their weapons, but the enemy was strong. Kai carried Mira through the chaos. They ran toward the lander. Mira held tightly to Kai's hand. Her small face was brave but scared. They reached the ship. The pilot closed the doors and lifted off just as another blast hit the ground. The forest burned behind them. The enemy. Ships followed. Kai looked down at Mira. "We are not safe yet," he said. "But I promise I will keep you safe." Mira smiled weakly. "I believe you." The lander jumped into space, moving away from the planet. Kai checked the ship's controls. They were not out of danger. The rival empire would chase them anywhere. Kai called the captain. "We have the Queen's daughter. The mission changed. We need new orders." The captain's voice was calm but serious. "Understood, Kai. Return to the base. We will plan the next move. Protect Mira at all costs." Kai nodded. This was no longer a simple mission. It was a battle for hope, for the future. Mira looked out the window at the shrinking planet. "My mother would want peace," she said softly. "I will help. We must stop the Empire," Kai smiled. "Together we will try." As the lander sped through space, Kai knew their journey was only beginning. The galaxy was watching. The Queen's daughter was alive. And everything was about to change. The lander shook gently as it traveled through space. Kai sat near Mira, watching the stars blur outside the window. The small girl rested quietly, but her eyes were alert. She knew the dangers they faced. Kai felt a new sense of purpose deep inside him. This was no longer just a mission to find old technology. This was a mission to protect a future. The ship's captain called in over the radio. "Kai, we have received new orders. The Empire's forces are gathering. They want Mira. You must keep her safe and learn more about the Queen's legacy." Kai nodded even though the captain could not see him. "Understood. We will do everything to protect her." Kai looked at Mira. "You have to tell me everything you know about your mother's legacy. What power does she hold?" Mira looked down. "The Queen's legacy is not just power. It is a promise to protect our people and to bring balance. The technology on Veros was built to help us live in peace, but the Empire wants to use it for war." Kai thought hard. The technology they found could change the balance of power in the galaxy. If the Empire used it to grow stronger, many worlds would suffer. But if Mira and her people could protect it, there was hope. Kai's team prepared the lander for a long journey. They had to take Mira to a safe place, a hidden base where she could learn and grow strong. The captain had arranged help from old friends who did not support the Empire. As the lander moved through space, Kai talked more with Mira. She told stories about her childhood before the Empire came, about the Queen's wisdom and kindness, about the people who lived in harmony with nature and technology. Kai felt respect for Mira's strength. She was young but carried a heavy burden. "We will find a way," he promised. "You will not be alone." Suddenly, the ship's sensors beeped urgently. "Unknown ship approaching fast," the pilot said. Kai looked up. On the radar, a small fighter ship was closing in. The Empire's scout had found them. Kai stood quickly. "Prepare for defense. We must keep Mira safe." The fighter fired, but the lander's shields held strong. Kai's team returned fire with their small weapons. The battle was short but intense. The enemy ship was damaged and forced to retreat. Kai sighed with relief. "This fight is only the start," he said. "They will not stop hunting us." Mira watched the battle with calm eyes. "I am ready," she said softly. Kai smiled. "Good. You will need courage, but also wisdom." The lander arrived at a hidden station called Haven. It was a small space outpost far from the Empire's reach. Old friends greeted Kai's team with hope and respect. One of them, Zara, was a skilled engineer. She had worked with the Queen before the Empire attacked. Zara looked closely at Mira. "You carry the Queen's blood," she said. "We will help you unlock the secrets of her legacy." Kai felt relief. At least here, they could plan their next steps. The mission had changed again. No longer just find and leave. Now they had to protect and fight for a cause. Days passed as Mira trained with Zara and others. She learned about the ancient machines and their power. The technology was built to protect life, to heal the planet, and to create energy for all. Kai helped as much as he could. But his role was also to watch for danger. The Empire's spies could be anywhere. He worked with the station's guards to strengthen defenses. One evening, Kai and Mira walked outside the station. The stars shone bright. Mira looked up. "I want to return to Veros one day," she said, "to bring peace to my people." Kai nodded. "That day will come. But first, we must be ready." Suddenly, the station's alarm sounded. The Empire had found them again. Kai's heart raced. "To your stations!" he ordered. "Prepare for attack!" The Empire's ships appeared surrounding Haven. The battle was fierce. Kai fought bravely, protecting Mira and the station. Mira stood firm. She activated part of the Queen's legacy technology. A shield of light rose around the station. The Empire's weapons slowed, unable to break through. Kai felt hope rise. Mira's power was real and strong. The mission had shifted again. They were no longer just survivors. They were fighters for freedom. The battle ended. The Empire's ships retreated. Haven was safe for now. Kai looked at Mira. "You are more than the Queen's daughter," he said. "You are the future." Mira smiled. "And I have you and our friends. Together, we will change the galaxy." Kai felt a new strength. The mission was no longer simple. It was a fight for justice and hope. As the stars shone around them, Kai knew this was only the beginning. The Queen's legacy was alive, and with it, a new dawn for all. The quiet days at Haven were over. The rival Empire's forces did not stop searching. They wanted Mira and the Queen's legacy more than ever. Kai knew the danger was growing. Every moment could bring new threats. One morning, Kai stood at the observation window. The stars outside were calm, but his mind was full of worry. Mira was training nearby with Zara. The young girl's eyes were full of hope, but Kai saw the weight on her small shoulders. Kai turned to Zara. The Empire will not give up. We must prepare. Zara nodded. We are working on strengthening the defenses, but if they send a large force, it will be difficult to hold. Kai's radio crackled. Scout ships detected near the station, the pilot said. Kai grabbed his gear. Alert everyone! Prepare for battle! Outside, the enemy ships came in waves. They moved fast and attacked with precision. Kai and the guards fired back. The shields of Haven held, but the pressure was heavy. Mira stood near Kai, watching carefully. I want to help, she said quietly. Kai smiled. You will, but now, stay safe. The battle lasted for hours. The Empire's ships tried to break through the defenses. Kai led small teams on the station's outside decks to repair damage and fight off enemy boarding attempts. Suddenly, a group of enemy soldiers managed to land near the station. Kai and his team rushed to stop them. The fight was close and fierce. Kai used his skills to lead his team forward. Mira helped by activating small defense systems. Her knowledge of the Queen's technology was a great help. After a hard fight, the enemy soldiers were pushed back into space. The station was safe, but the cost was clear. Several guards were injured. The people of Haven were tired. Kai looked at Mira. This will not end soon. The Empire will keep coming. Mira nodded. Then we must find a new way. Not just fight, but change things. Kai knew she was right. Fighting alone would not win this war. They needed allies. Kai contacted old friends across the galaxy, rebel groups, traitors, and explorers who hated the Empire's rule. Slowly, a network of support began to form. One day, a message arrived from a distant world. A group of rebels wanted to meet Mira. They believed in the Queen's legacy and wanted to help. Kai arranged for a secret meeting. He and Mira traveled on a small ship to the rebel base. The journey was long and tense. The Empire's spies could be anywhere. At the rebel base, Mira met leaders who shared stories of hope and resistance. They talked about freedom and a future, without fear. Mira's presence gave the rebels new courage. She spoke about her mother's promise and the power of peace. Kai watched as the young girl inspired those around her, but the Empire was not far behind. Their agents tried to find the rebel base. Kai and the rebels worked quickly to hide the location and prepare defenses. One night, the rebel base was attacked. Alarms blared. Kai led the defense. The rebels fought bravely, but the Empire's forces were strong. Mira stood in the center of the base. She used the Queen's legacy technology to protect the people. A bright shield surrounded them, holding back the attackers. The battle ended with the Empire's retreat. The rebels cheered. Mira's power had made a difference. Kai smiled proudly. You are a true leader, he said. Mira looked at Kai. We must keep fighting, but also find peace. Kai nodded. Together we will. The mission had changed. Again. It was no longer just about survival. It was about hope, leadership, and a future for all. As Kai and Mira looked out at the stars, they knew the fight was far from over. But with friends and courage, they believed they could win. The rebel base was quiet now. The battle had passed, but the threat of the Empire still loomed large. Kai and Mira knew they could not fight this war alone. They needed more help. The Queen's legacy was powerful, but only if it was shared with the right allies. Kai sat in a small meeting room with Zara and some rebel leaders. We must reach out to others, he said. There are many who want freedom but are too afraid to act. If we find them, they could help us. Zara nodded. We have contacts on many worlds. Traders, miners, even some former soldiers who disagree. With the Empire, we can send messages in secret. Mira listened carefully. She was growing stronger every day, but the weight of responsibility was heavy. I want to meet these people, she said. We must show them hope. Kai smiled. Soon. First, we must send messages. Then, when they answer, we can bring them together. The days passed as the rebels worked in secret. Kai helped coordinate the messages. Each was a call for help, a promise of a better future. Slowly, replies came back. Some were cautious, some eager, but all wanted change. One evening, Kai and Mira prepared to welcome new visitors. The rebel base was filled with quiet excitement. The people knew this could change everything. The first to arrive was a group of traders from a mining planet called Solara. They brought supplies and stories of hardship under the Empire's rule. Their leader, Jalen, was strong and wise. He believed in the Queen's promise and wanted to help. Next came a former soldier named Lyra. She had fought for the Empire, but left when she saw the pain it caused. Now, she offered her skills to protect the rebels. Kai watched as Mira spoke with Lyra, sharing her hopes and fears. More allies arrived over time. Scientists, explorers, and even artists who wanted to rebuild a peaceful galaxy. The rebel base grew into a small community of hope. But the Empire noticed. Their spies were everywhere. Kai and the leaders knew they had to be careful. One night, while the base was quiet, alarms sounded again. This time the Empire sent a large fleet. The rebels were ready. Kai led the defense with the new allies. The battle was hard and lasted long into the night. Mira used the Queen's technology to protect the base. The shield glowed bright, holding the enemy back. Jalen and Lyra led groups to fight the invaders. Zara worked to repair damage quickly. The rebels fought together as one. When the battle ended, the Empire retreated. The rebels had won, but the cost was clear. Many were tired and some were hurt. Kai gathered the leaders. "We have strength in numbers now," he said, "but the Empire will not stop. We must keep building our alliance." Mira stood beside him. "We must also prepare for the future," she said. "The Queen's legacy is a gift. We will use it to bring peace." Kai looked at Mira with pride. "You have become a true leader." The mission that began as a simple search had grown into a movement. Together, they would face the Empire's power. As the sun rose over the rebel base, Kai and Mira looked to the horizon. The fight was far from over, but with friends by their side, hope burned brighter than ever. The days grew tense at the rebel base. The allies were stronger now, but the Empire's power also increased. Kai and Mira knew the final battle was coming. The Queen's legacy was a beacon of hope, but it was also a target. One morning, the base received a message. The Empire's leader, Commander Valen, demanded Mira's surrender. "Give us the Queen's daughter," the message said, "or face destruction." Kai read the message aloud to the leaders. His voice was steady but firm. "We will not give in. We fight for freedom." Mira looked at Kai. "This is our moment. We must act." Plans were made quickly. The rebels would use the Queen's technology to defend the base and strike at the Empire's forces. Kai prepared the teams. Zara worked to unlock more secrets of the legacy. Mira trained hard, learning how to use her power. The night before the battle, Kai walked with Mira outside the base. The stars shone above them. "You are ready," he said. "But remember, this is not just about fighting. It is about protecting hope." Mira nodded. "I will do my best." The next day, the Empire's fleet appeared, dark and large. The rebel base prepared for war. Kai and the allies stood ready. The battle began. Ships clashed in space, firing beams of light. On the ground, the rebels fought fiercely. Kai led his team through the chaos, helping where needed. Mira stood at the center, using the Queen's legacy. She raised a shield of energy that protected the base and the people inside. The shield pulsed with power, pushing back the Empire's attacks. Commander Valen arrived in a massive ship. He saw Mira and Kai fighting together. Furious, he sent his forces to break the shield. Kai and Mira worked as one. Kai's skill and Mira's power formed a strong defense. They inspired the rebels to fight harder. In the sky, fighters clashed. Lyra and Jalen led the rebel ships. They took down enemy vessels with bravery. The battle lasted hours. The Empire's forces pushed hard. But the rebels would not give up. Finally, Kai saw an opening. Commander Valen's ship was vulnerable. Kai led a team to attack. In a fierce fight, Kai faced Valen. The two clashed with strength and skill. Kai's determination was clear. He fought not just for victory, but for a better future. At the same time, Mira used the Queen's power to weaken Valen's ship. The energy from her shield struck the enemy vessel, causing it to lose control. Valen's ship exploded in a bright flash. The Empire's fleet retreated. The rebels cheered. The battle was won. Kai and Mira stood together, tired but proud. The Queen's legacy had protected them. The Empire's power was broken, at least for now. Mira looked at Kai. "This is just the start," she said. "We must keep building peace." Kai smiled. "And we will. Together." The mission had changed from a simple search to a fight for freedom and hope. The galaxy had seen the strength of the Queen's daughter and her allies. As the sun set on the rebel base, Kai and Mira looked to the stars. A new dawn was coming. The future was bright. The battle was over, but the galaxy was not yet at peace. Kai stood on the balcony of the rebel base, watching the twin suns rise. The sky was painted with soft colors. Around him, the people of the base were busy rebuilding, hopeful for the future. Mira walked beside him. Her face was calm but strong. She had grown from a scared child hiding in the forest to a leader who inspired many. Her connection to the Queen's legacy was now clear. She carried not only power but also the promise of peace. "We won a great victory," Kai said. "But the Empire's shadow is still over many worlds." Mira nodded. "We must help them. The Queen's legacy is a light for all." The rebel leaders gathered to plan the next steps. They knew their fight was far from over. The Empire was broken but not gone. Many people still suffered under its rule. Kai listened as Mira spoke with confidence. "We will build a new council," she said. "A group of worlds working together for peace and justice." Zara added, "The technology we found can help rebuild damaged planets. It can give energy and hope." Kai felt proud. The mission had changed again. What started as a search for an artifact had become a movement for change. One day, a message arrived from a distant world. They wanted to join the new council. More replies came from planets near and far. The dream of peace was growing. Mira worked with Kai and the leaders to visit these worlds. They shared stories, helped rebuild, and formed new friendships. The Queen's legacy was a symbol of unity. Kai and Mira often talked about their journey. They remembered the dangers, the battles, and the moments of hope. Each step had brought them closer to a better future. One evening, Kai asked Mira, "Do you think your mother would be proud?" Mira smiled. "I believe she would. We have kept her promise." Kai looked out at the stars. The galaxy was changing. The people had found hope in the Queen's daughter and her friends. The rebel base was no longer just a hiding place. It was a home for many who dreamed of freedom. Kai knew that challenges would come again, but now they were ready. As the twin sun set, Kai and Mira stood together. The future was theirs to build, a future of peace, courage, and hope.